Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome. Okay. It's almost connected. It's preparing.
Sweet.
I'll let people get on here for a few minutes. There we are. Oh, you're not even in my Facebook group. I should have added you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but that's all right. We'll do it afterwards.
Let people get on. Okay. Awesome. We're all connected. How are you, Ryan?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Is my camera not on? Hold on. Please hold on. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Perfect. We had a few actually get the Zoom invite, and then everybody else will just be on Facebook.
Cool.
Give them a few minutes. I guess I should send out like a message to my clients and let them know.
That's right.
What did you do today, Alyssa?
Well, it is nice and sunny here down in the Bay Area. San Francisco is super cold. So I had a nice walk with my dog and worked. Nice. And I'm having a late workout tonight, actually, which is different for me, but at least it's just arms. So it'll be after our live tonight.
I almost pushed it out until after our live tonight, and I was like, I'm not going to do it.
I know. I saw you on your stories. I was like, maybe I should have snuck it in, but I was cooking dinner. I made white beans for Taco Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I saw that. How was that?
Good. The beans were like really creamy.
Really?
Really good. Mm-hmm.
What kind of
like it almost tastes like it could be cheese, but it's like, I don't know. It was really good. Highly recommend it.
That's good. Can I like make you a host on here?
Oh, can we do dual host? Because I don't know if I'm the best host.
I don't think we can do dual hosts.
Okay. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think it has to switch to one or the other.
Gotcha.
That I know.
Yeah, and if I have to share my screen, I have to be the host, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's see. We'll probably wait till like 5 after. You think?
Yeah, we can do that.
Then you
whatever you think, Coach.
Talk about yourself. Yeah, I don't think I had anybody hop on last week until like 5 after.
Okay.
Well, Ryan was timely. I said Ryan was timely.
I had to download the app. It took a second.
That's true. But you did hop on Facebook first.
Yes. And now that I've done this one, I won once. My mic is on. So
I know. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm multitasking.
It's okay. Give it another minute or so. What'd you do today, Ryan?
Work. I felt like Rihanna. No, just worked. Just got home less than half an hour ago. So
nice. Did you apply for that?
No, because my resume didn't come through, which is what I'm doing as we speak on my laptop, is sending it over to my work email.
There you go.
So I guess Outlook didn't send it. So I will do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, technology hasn't been cooperating with me today.
Me too.
Got somebody else joining on here.
My Whoop return finally went through, so I should be able to get that Polar watch this week.
Yay. Yeah, order it. I think they're on sale.
Okay. Can we connect ours?
Can what?
You know? Can we connect them? Is that a possibility?
No, it's annoying. I wish, but I'd also prefer to have a accurate watch than have it connect with the app. I'm hoping that they'll get that integration eventually. They just got
But I mean,
in.
can we like connect the two polars together? So like you can share data through Polar?
I might be able to add you as a friend. I don't know how that works. It might be kind of like Fitbit where you can do that.
Okay. I can look into
Hello,
it.
Daisy. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. A little
Good.
late here.
You're good. Okay. All right, Alyssa, you want to introduce
All
yourself?
right. Yeah, I can introduce myself. So my name's Alyssa Calafea. I'm a trainer down in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. And I would say I've been in the fitness industry since, gosh, this is really going to age me, like 16 years. I started out as a swim coach, and it soon led into, strength training and all around personal training. I've trained people for triathlons when I was living on Oahu, trained Navy and military personnel when I was living on Oahu at Pearl Harbor. And when I moved to San Francisco about 7 years ago, I started working with people probably 75 years of age and older. That was a majority of my clients. When the pandemic hit, I went completely online and I saw how great the results were for my clients. And yeah, people are just more committed. It's easier to stay on track. I know you know this too, but yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. And we met through a business mentorship program that we both did. When did we start that? 4 or 5 months?
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were accountability buddies. So we met on a weekly basis. We still meet on a weekly basis. Have a lot of things in common when it comes to training in our business. So
We talk like almost every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we've never met in person yet.
Yeah,
one of these days we'll make it happen.
Which is funny because you drive down or you drove up I-5 not that long.
I didn't come up your way, but next time I do, I will let you know, and I'll run my dog over in your area.
There you go. Need to work out together or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you want to get this show on the road?
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Me too. Let me see if I can actually share my screen. There we go. Okay. Let's make sure I'm on the right one.
I'll let you know if it pops up too.
Are we there? Perfect.
We're there.
Let me see here. Oh no, our faces might be in the way. There we go. Okay, can everybody see okay?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. If you guys have questions, you can drop them in the Zoom chat or you can drop them on the Facebook Live as well. So tonight, we all know we're talking about gym intimidation. I think it's really common, especially among us women. The gym can be a very scary and intimidating place. So we're going to go over a few things so you guys can try and work through that. First, we both want to thank you for being here. Again, there's going to be time at the end for us to go over questions. Feel free to drop them in the Facebook chat or in the chat on here. Hopefully technology cooperates with us tonight. So Alyssa, feel free to interrupt me at any point. I'm a talker, so just interrupt.
I'm not usually good at interrupting, so I'll try.
It's just taking up space in the gym.
Right. I know, absolutely.
I think one of the main reasons that women avoid the gym is fear, fear of people judging you, people looking at you, coming up to you, telling you, what you're doing wrong. And I think the second component to that is knowledge, not really knowing what to do in the gym. I feel like a majority of the women that come to me, they say, I want to go work out. I want to change my lifestyle, but I walk into the gym and I'm overwhelmed and I have no idea what to do. So I spend 30 minutes on the treadmill. And that's kind of where they stay because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to use the equipment. They don't have a program that they're following or a program with any guidance. And then fear is probably the main driver. You want to bump in there, Alyssa?
Yeah, I think fear of, there's a lot of things like fear of other people, and I think also something I see with my clients as well is fear of injury or re-injury, especially if you've had a change with your body. Like, I've had a surgery before, some major injuries, and I had a fear of like going back and grabbing a heavy weight. When I remember that one of my first coaches that I had, they said, you're supposed to feel back pain when you're doing deadlifts. And I was like, really? This just doesn't feel right. And like, it looks fun, but like my back is aching. I'm throwing on like a whole bottle of Bengay, which is not good for you either, probably, you know. And yeah, I think for me personally, and what I see with a lot of my clients is that fear of re-injury. So that's a big one too, that you kind of touched on. For me, that's what it was making me think of. And I think another thing is like the fear of what people might judge you or different things like that. That totally happens. That happened to my wife. Actually, I was working at a luxury gym in San Francisco pre-pandemic, and she was like so scared to come into the gym. I was like, come on, like it'll be totally fine. You're gonna be with me. I work there. This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I wasn't in my uniform. We both she was comfortable on the cardio machine. So I was like, okay, let's start there. That's fine. Let's get on the bike. We're not going to look at anybody. We're just going to face out the window.
Yeah.
We hop on this like empty set of bikes. We start spinning. I'm doing it for her because I don't really like spinning. But this guy comes on the machine and he goes, why the hell are you wearing makeup? She had just finished work. It was afternoon. It's like, you're at a gym. And she just like felt awful about herself after.
Oh my God.
And like, you're not going to wipe your makeup off.
No.
Before you go to the gym, if you're, I don't know. Anyway, so like, of course, that's her. She's already had so much fear around it. And then that just made it like so much worse.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure, people on this call today too have their own stories. And, my fear was the injury. My wife's fear was what people would say to her. And of course, something like that happened.
Yeah. No, there are idiots out there. I've had clients have different experiences. I was telling you earlier, like I had a client that had a couple guys like knocked over her water bottle and broke it this last week and then like laughed about it. And I'm like, why? Like that stuff makes me so mad. And if I was there, I probably would have, it would not have gone well. But stuff like that irritates me so much. Jumping on. But yeah, I agree with like the injury. I have had my own injuries and it was all previous to actually knowing like what I was doing in the gym. Mm-hmm. And it's scary to like go back to doing those exercises that hurt you before, but knowing the things like how to do it differently and how to do it better so that stuff doesn't happen. It can be definitely a big barrier for a lot of people. I hear a lot of people say, well, I have a bad back or I injured my back or my wrist or whatever it is. And then it's almost like that's kind of their crutch, like not to go to the gym. And it is scary when you don't know what you're doing because that's likely what got you hurt in the first place. So
right. Or you had a bad coach that was telling you, hey, your back's supposed to be hurting when you're deadlifting. But so how did you come over that fear of re-injury, or what move was it specifically, if you don't mind me asking?
I actually injured my shoulder doing hang cleans.
Oh.
Just not having proper form, not knowing, what I was doing. And how to use speed and power and momentum to like drive those movements instead of using like hanging on your joints. And so
Yeah.
I injured my shoulder doing that. And what helped me like work through that is one, I am like, if something happens, I'm going to like research the crap out of stuff to figure out like what I did wrong, how I could do it differently. And then I also had the opportunity to work for a chiropractic office. So in like a rehab setting, I worked as an assistant and I worked as a trainer. So I got to experience like rehabbing other people that have injured themselves and the causes of those things, and then how to rehab people, out of that, and how to reintegrate training into that, which has translated into like everything I do now, because I don't think I've had one person that has come to me and not had any sort of previous injury or pain or limitation of some kind. So yeah, that was the big one for me. But what about you?
Yeah, I think, it was working with the trainer myself, and there was a lot of movements that I avoided with one of my first trainers that I had. There was a point in my life where I was, actually really overweight. I had a lot of health issues. I won't go too deep into that, but I still had a fear after working with that first trainer of doing squats or deadlifts, any type of leg movement. Actually, I would get scared that my injury was a stress fracture to the shins. So I was running so much that my calves got so tight and started basically ripping apart. My my shin splints turned into stress fractures. And I probably wasn't like getting the right nutrients. And at the time I was probably under eating and doing a lot of cardio. And anyway, I had a fear of doing squat or deadlift because I remember my shins hurting really bad, like not being able to really walk without pain in my shin. And working with my second trainer that I had, she had to really help me push through it. Not push through it. She taught me that your body remembers pain. And yes, in the beginning, you might feel it, but we're going to work just to that border of pain. We're going to stay under that threshold. And maybe the next time we meet, we're going to work a little bit deeper, get deeper into the squat, a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit more weight, right? So understanding my nervous system and that I had to work through that trauma, almost like therapy, right?
Yeah.
You have to work through it in order to get stronger. And that knowledge was power. So like you said, just knowing more and just getting educated and working with a coach will help you get there. And it might not be the most fun in the beginning. There's going to be some pain points and kind of working through those. But eventually you'll hopefully be pain-free.
Ping-ponging off of this, but learning the difference between actual pain and then like just discomfort with training, and the difference between them can be really challenging to figure out. But okay, how do we deal with this? How do we overcome it? And you guys are gonna love this. Assess. So everything I do with each of my clients starts with an assessment. So figuring out like, what is your baseline when it comes to going to the gym? Are you currently going to the gym at all? How often are you currently going to the gym? Are you, what is your goal by going to the gym? And kind of just evaluating why you're going, how often you want to go, how often you're currently going, and what that end result is. And that kind of gives you a place to work from. And we'll go over like what we do with that information next, but actually figuring out like what you want out of this process is huge, right? We're not going to just go to the gym just to go to the gym. We have to go there with a purpose, and we need to figure out what that purpose is. You have anything to say about that, Alyssa?
No, I totally agree. I have assessments myself. We've talked about this, and assessments are key to kind of noticing if the dial is moving the direction we want it to.
Yes, definitely. Set SMART goals. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals. I think so now that you have that assessment of where your baseline is, you can actually set realistic goals. Because if you're not going to the gym at all, you're not going to make a goal of going 5 days a week, every week. That's not necessarily realistic. So starting with something that is attainable, you have like a 99% likelihood of actually doing it, making sure it's measurable, you've put a time frame on it, and then it's as specific as possible. So by putting some kind of a measurement on it, making sure it's attainable and realistic, and putting a time frame on it will make it as specific as it needs to be. So break down your goals. In the end, like what is your long-term goal? How often do you want to be going to the gym? How frequently? And what is the end result? Some people have like a weight loss goal, which I notice for a lot of people turns into performance goals as they lose weight, right? They care more about their performance in the gym. And then your process goals are the components that make up the process to getting to that end goal. So imagine the person that you want to be in 6 months. What steps has that person taken to get there? What does that look like? Does that look like 2 days a week in the gym while focusing the rest of their time on their diet and their sleep and their recovery? And is it, going 5 days a week because you want to train for a bikini competition? Everybody's goals are totally different, but the process is going to look different for that. Do you want to add to that, Alyssa?
Yeah, it's actually making me think of a client I spoke to yesterday. So he was a guy that was seeing, working with me 5 days a week. His, goal was to bulk, get strong. He had he got divorced like a few years ago, and his goal was to get back out in the dating scene and like get muscles. And he's a tech bro, so he didn't have the best posture or anything. So he now has great posture. He's happily married. He's a new father, and his goals have completely changed. We sat down and he's like, yeah, I don't think my goals are to really bulk anymore. My goal is to just maintain what I have. I can't, commit to the gym 5 days a week now. It's only going to be 2. What can I do to, get to this goal of just maintaining what we've currently built up over the last few years? So your goals are always going to be changing
Totally.
based on your life circumstances, right? And just, you don't have to stick to that regimen. I like to actually build out goals for my clients and myself by like 90 days. And so I'll do, we want to achieve maybe 1 or 2 things within those 90 days and accomplish a task.
Yeah.
And it has to be a SMART goal.
Yes. Mine are normally like 4 weeks because I meet with each of my like remote clients every 4 weeks.
Right.
And that's where we set over the 4 weeks, what type of goals do we want to set, and what are the process goals we're trying to accomplish? When it comes to the gym, that obviously looks a little bit different, but for clients, that's like, let's consistently hit 25 grams of fiber every single day. We're going to track your food, 3 to 5 days a week, and then make sure you're consistently hitting the gym 2 to 3 days or whatever their, regimen is, but setting goals that are attainable for them. And then you should always ask yourself, what on a scale of 1 to 10, like what is the likelihood of me accomplishing this? And you have to be honest with yourself, because if it's not an 8 or above, it's probably not going to happen.
And we got to take into account vacations now, people, because it is our first summer. I mean, not without COVID, but free of some more restrictions that we've had.
Yes, definitely. Okay, how to successfully implement process goals. Take baby steps. So when it comes to the gym, if you have not stepped a foot into the gym at all, literally make a goal of starting with 10 minutes of cardio or 15 minutes of stretching, or pick one strength exercise that you do in the free weight section. You can literally pick one thing, keep it small, keep it doable, that you are actually going to do, and then reward yourself. I think that's a missing component with a lot of people's goals is like, okay, if I consistently do this over the next 4 weeks, maybe I, after 5 visits to the gym, like I have to reward myself. We respond to rewards really, really well. And I would highly recommend you don't reward yourself with food, because that creates just a weird relationship with food. But, maybe it's scheduling a massage after you go to the gym 10 times. And it doesn't have to be 10 times within 4 weeks. It can literally just be, I go 10 times to the gym, however long that takes you, whether it takes you a month, 3 months, or 6 months. After you've gone to the gym 10 times, then you schedule a massage for yourself, or a manicure, or like whatever your self-care might look like. Maybe it's just planning a vacation, or buying a dress, or something you've had sitting in your Amazon, shopping cart for months. Something like that. You want to add to that, Alyssa?
No, I think I'm gonna like rewind it a bit too, because you said starting with like 10 minutes of cardio. I think a lot of my clients that I've experienced so far, they have, that fear of going to the gym. So yeah, getting on the piece of cardio equipment, if you feel most comfortable there, jump on there. And hopefully you don't have an experience like how my wife had. But another thing is too, if you're working with the coach, you're working with Amanda, right? Tell her what you're comfortable with. So if you're comfortable like occupying a space in the gym, so let's say you get a bench and you sit on that bench, and she's like, hey, you're going to grab the 15-pound dumbbells, the 10-pound dumbbells, and this and that, and you can hog it up for, your whole transition. Let her know. But if you're jumping around from like machine to machine and you're getting like super intimidated by like how crowded it is in the gym, you have a really awesome coach that can make your program more flexible too. So I feel like that's something that I noticed with my clients is like, some of them are like, oh yeah, I didn't go on that machine today. I didn't want to ask the guy to get off or whatever. So yeah, I wanted to reel it back to what you had initially said.
Definitely. And as you go more frequently, you get more comfortable. Like I was never comfortable, or I wasn't for a really long time, asking people to like share equipment. Now it's not a problem, because I know I have just as much of a right to be there as they do. And they don't own the equipment. I don't own the equipment. It is there for everybody. And if I'm willing to share it with somebody else, then they need to be as well. And don't be afraid to gym hop either. Like I didn't put this on here, but if you go to a gym and you have a bad experience, if you're not comfortable, I don't recommend like avoiding the situation. Like I would talk to a manager, or, something along those lines. If you just don't like the environment anymore, you don't enjoy going anymore, find a different gym, So you can move around until you find an environment you're most comfortable in. There's always going to be a little bit of discomfort, but if you don't find yourself enjoying being in that environment, then you might have to change it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with that for sure.
But yeah, definitely just take up the space. Ask people to move and share.
You will notice that as a woman, like if a guy is doing deadlifts over here on this, platform, and you're doing deadlifts on this platform, and you've taken up the 2 platforms in the gym, let's say, people most likely will ask you if you're almost done. But finish your sets, finish your workout, take your time.
Yes. And we, like the gym I go to when I don't work out in my own gym, only has 1 platform, which is kind of annoying. But I will go grab a barbell off of one of the benches, like the decline bench, because it never gets used. And I will set it up on the same platform. I'll usually ask like whoever's on there, hey, do you mind if I like work in with you? And if it's a dude that's got like 5 plates on each side, like I'm probably not going to ask him to offload that every single set. So I will go grab another bar and I will set it up, and I will just do them when he is resting, so that, I'm not like deadlifting while he's deadlifting, and now it's just uncomfortable for everybody. But you can definitely work around things. And then if you need to wait for equipment to become available, you can move on to other things in your workout as well. I mean, most of my clients know this, but if you like, there's no possible way for you to get a bench or an incline bench, like go to your next thing and then try and come back to it if you can. Last thing, get an accountability buddy. Like if you, one, this is going to make you way more confident in the gym, but two, you are less likely to be approached by other people. So, you know, the people knocking over water bottles and whatever, calling you out for your makeup, they're less likely to approach you if you have a buddy with you. And then it just makes things more comfortable, you know, just like everything you do, you know, us women, we can't go to the bathroom alone. So find a buddy. There's somebody out there, you know, I see people posting in our local groups like all the time about like, would somebody want to be my walking buddy or my gym buddy or whatever. So don't be afraid to reach out and find somebody, because more than likely they're struggling with the same exact thing.
Yeah, find your fit fam.
Yes. Yep. And if you can't, or you don't feel comfortable, like reach out to somebody like me or Alyssa, and I guarantee you we can plug you into like our community and find somebody. Like I have several women that go to the same gym all the time. Some of them are morning people, like midday and evening people, but there's enough of them going that if you need somebody to like connect with and go with, that's totally possible. So that is we have. So do you want to add anything, Alyssa?
No, I feel like this would be a cool opportunity if anybody had any questions to drop them down, but
yes,
yeah,
definitely. You can turn your mic on and ask questions too. We don't have that.
or you could phrase it like, if you were in my situation and this happened, what would you do? Kind of thing. Those are always great.
Those are fun. Yeah. Any questions?
I have a question. Of course I do. So you mentioned moving equipment, like using the platform of the Y.
Yeah.
Is there any taboo on that? Is there like any judgment on that? Or is it just all free game?
I mean,
I take weights to the pull down machine because I'm not going to take up space besides my 2x2 square.
oh,
But like, if you take like equipment to like the platform, or is there a taboo on moving that around?
no, I think if like the gym is super busy and people are obviously benching, then like I wouldn't grab the bar off of there. But that's why like I always grab it off the decline bench, because like I never see anybody on there.
No one goes on the decline bench down here, at least. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a West Coast thing.
And honestly, if you are the chick that walks up and grabs the barbell off the rack and walks it across the gym to the deadlift platform, I don't think anybody's going to walk up to you and say, you probably shouldn't do that. They're probably going to be like, I don't think I want to talk to her.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So no, I don't think there's any real like taboo with that. You know, people grab dumbbells and move them across the gym all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm actually totally that person.
Yeah, as long as
like moving equipment across to my corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's only taboo if you don't clean them and you don't put them back.
Yes.
Like your pool of sweat thing, Alyssa, that you had.
Which I don't know. What's
oh
yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, that was awful. I was like, what time? Which story did I tell you?
The one you posted where there was literally somebody spilled a water bottle on the bench. It was
and the floor, and like a whole gallon on the floor.
Yeah.
So gross. It was salty too. You could tell someone sweat. It was so gross. Yeah. Some people just sweat a lot. I don't sweat that. I mean, I sweat, but not that much.
Yeah, that's impressive. What other questions do you have? I got a few more people on here. We got Daisy, Cindy, Jenny. Hang on, I gotta like figure out how to make this chat bigger. There we go. Can't think of any big questions other than if the slides will be available somewhere. Other than that, thank you. Yes, I can definitely share them in the Facebook group. I'll put them in the comments on this live.
Yeah.
You don't have more questions, Ryan? You're my question asker.
I don't. Mine really is just getting it done for me personally, because I mean, my fear of the gym.
Yeah.
So no questions except, does it ever go away? Do you ever feel completely confident?
I don't think you ever feel like 100% confident. You know, I still have days where I'm like, I feel like a little uncomfortable. Like if I notice somebody just like looking at me funny or somebody else funny, like sometimes there will be like little triggers, but you have to remind yourself that you deserve to be there just as much as everybody else. And, you know, it's kind of like regular anxiety. You know, a lot of people struggle with anxiety. I don't think it ever 100% goes away. There's always going to be like little triggers. And sometimes that's going to be worse than others, but the more you just continue to do it and the repetition will help you be more resistant to that. The triggers won't be as triggering.
Right.
So
One day.
But you guys can share like what has helped you out, or like, yeah, just different things that you've done to kind of overcome gym intimidation yourself. Because I know that was a struggle for you, Ryan. I know some of the other people on here have struggled with that. I don't think I know anybody that hasn't struggled with intimidation at the gym.
Yeah, I think a big part of it for me too was having a coach and knowing what to do. And even now, to this day, I'm sure you guys have heard of decision fatigue. We can only make so many decisions in a day. And if I'm writing programs and making decisions for their workouts all day, I also have a coach that does my own training. And so when I get to the gym, I know exactly what to do. There's like no hesitation, no decisions to be made. You know, we already got to figure out what we're making for dinner, this and that. Are we taking this car, that car, whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing exactly what I'm going to do before I go to the gym is so helpful, and having a coach. And I haven't stopped investing in myself and having a coach for like the last 9 years. There was a break after my first trainer, so I could, you know, build up some cash flow. But after that, you know, it's been consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a break from paying for a coach for a few months because I was like, oh, I should be able to program for myself. No, you become your last priority, especially like as a coach. You know, it's kind of like a plumber's plumbing gets fixed. So I don't want to have to think about it. I noticed like I would program for myself and then I'd get to the end of my phase and I'd be like, shoot, I need a program for myself. Like, what am I going to do? And I don't have time, you know, in the next few days. So either I just do a random workout or I don't work out at all. And yeah, no, it's definitely worth investing. So you can literally just open your phone and go.
You just go, you don't even pay attention to anybody else. You put your favorite song on, hammer it out, get in, get out, get going.
Yep. What other questions do you guys have or input or anything like that? I'm also looking on the Facebook group in case anybody there wants to add anything.
My biggest advice was from Chantel. Not apologize if you don't do anything wrong.
Yes.
That was a huge like power move.
Yes.
I still haven't learned it, but I mean, it's a big power move.
Yes. No, that is huge. I said that to somebody actually a couple of weeks ago. Somebody apologized to me and I was like, don't apologize. And they're like, well, I was just being nice. And I'm like, apologizing isn't being nice. You apologize when you did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. And you're not doing anything wrong by being at the gym unless you're not cleaning your equipment.
Or putting it away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, somebody asked, how do you learn or know what to do for a program without a trainer so you don't become fully dependent? So part of that is asking a lot of questions. Like if you, trying to think about like different clients, but I've had clients that they don't want to have to think about it at all. They literally just want you to do it for them, and they don't need to know the why. They don't need to know the how. They just need to know the what. And that works for some people. I have other clients that are like, well, why do you program this with this? And why are we doing this? And that's great. It teaches you why we're doing what we're doing so that you can continue to do that. I honestly don't know that I'll ever not pay somebody for programming, because that is a lot to think about. Like programming effectively is a lot to think about. So most coaches, like I've transitioned clients to where I just program for them. I don't do anything else. I don't do any nutritional audits. I don't do check-ins. They'll send me form checks every once in a while, but they just follow a program. And like, that's all I do right now is I just follow programming. I have the option to send in form checks, and that's it, right? I do my own nutrition. I can video my own form and critique it. So everybody's different. It's kind of dependent on your needs. Do you have the capacity to learn all that stuff and figure out how to program for yourself? Because I'm a coach and I know how to do that, and I don't have the capacity to do that for myself. So it depends. But
yeah, I think if someone's like, wants to invest now, they learn what they need to learn from their coach at the moment. That's good. I like keeping my good coaches close by though. So you can always take a break with them. I think the best time to reinvest with a coach is if, especially you've had an injury, a big life change. Let's say you've had a baby. And now your body's different. Maybe you're taking different medications, this or that. That's when it's great to get back on a protocol. And we're all aging. We're all getting older. If you're 30 years old now and you have this program when you're doing right now with Amanda, and you reach back out to her in like 5 years or something, your body might be totally different, so when those big life changes happen, if you notice that your day-to-day, putting on pants, a jacket, I don't know how old this client is that asked the question, but like different things like that, when daily tasks get difficult, that's when it's great to reinvest in a trainer again, because your body's different.
Yep. Our joints literally deteriorate on a daily basis if we don't do something to prevent that.
Yeah. But programming, I think, is just the way to go forever. Yeah. But, if you do have to take a break from a coach, I get it financially. And that's when I would reinvest.
Yeah.
When things get difficult.
I think working with a coach like us that will assess you, will teach you what not to do, will teach you how to do things intelligently in a way that's actually going to benefit your body, is going to help you find either like a more cookie cutter program that's actually going to work for you. Like my programming right now is not personalized at all. I make like my own like minor tweaks if I need to, but that's because I know how to do that. If your coach, like if I'm your coach, I have a generic program that people can follow, then that's what like you would transition or graduate to. Or you just continue to pay a coach for personalized programming. That's still going to be less than one-on-one coaching. So it kind of depends on what you want to invest in long term. It's kind of like paying for insurance. Like you're paying to continue to protect your joints and make progress towards your goals. And that way, your coach can help you make adjustments when your goals change and when your body changes, and pretty much everything Alyssa had said. So
yeah.
Again,
and I'll clarify that what I said is like personalized programming, like revisiting those things on a personalized program with those big life changes.
Definitely. I think honestly getting like reassessed like just your joints every few years is super valuable.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. What other questions do we have? Oh, that was kind of a broad answer.
Do you have any advice on form checks and videoing yourself in the gym when you're already terrified to go to the gym? Or do you just wait to do that until you feel a little bit more comfortable? Or
so you can wait to do it if like you find yourself really, really anxious at the gym and it's like hard enough just to show up at the gym. If it's an exercise that you could do, like replicate in your living room, you can do that. If it's otherwise, I would get, like I was showing you, those things that literally stick your phone to the wall. That way you're not like hauling a tripod into the gym type of a thing. There's like another gal in there. Like if you walked up to me and was like, hey, would you mind like recording my set for me? Not a problem. And I know that's like stepping outside our comfort zone too, but more often than not, another female is not going to be like,
right.
No. So that would be my suggestion. And then just doing it little bits at a time, like make that your goal for the session. If like, I just want to record one video today, that's your goal. If you do that, you'll feel accomplished. Reward yourself with something. But that would be my recommendation. And then if you can replicate it at home, like it doesn't have to be to the same extent. Like obviously if you're doing like heavy deadlifts, I would like to see the actual set of that. But if you need to just send me a like, deadlift you do in your living room with a couple dumbbells just to replicate the movement, and that's what you're comfortable with to start out, that's fine. Eventually I do want to see like what you're actually doing in the gym and how that's looking, so I can make sure you're on the right track. But yeah, I have not gone to the gym like really one time in the last few years and not seen somebody record themselves. It's just kind of normal in this social media age. So I would try not to worry about it too much, but set little goals. What other questions we got? Do you have anything to add, Alyssa?
No, I was going to say that I think it's pretty cool to like record yourself in the gym and get to watch your form back. Like if you do it on the first or second set or however many sets Amanda programs for you, but you can watch it back and then you'll get that feedback too. So yeah, send it to your coach, but you'll be able to see some things too. And then you'll get better at coaching yourself. You'll be able to see the things that Amanda's giving you feedback on. You've been like, oh yeah, I did see that, so try to do it early on. Don't overthink it, just go.
Definitely. And anybody, like I know not everybody on this call is a client of mine. You can post them in the Facebook group and I will do form checks. I was thinking with my clients, I might start in your guys' resource library, like having you guys post them there. That way everybody can kind of see, like it helps to see different movement patterns. That way you can kind of recognize that stuff in your own movement.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
You need to do a what not to do.
We need a what?
You need to do a what not to do.
For like form?
Yeah. So like if you're doing like a bench, like don't do this with your shoulders and your elbows.
Well, I mean, most of my videos, my instructional videos, I don't think I have one that's under a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I don't do like just movement videos. I have a couple in there, but like the more basic stuff that people like need to learn, it's all instructional that way. Because that's the big thing, is when you start lifting, knowing that what you're doing is correct. And I think that's the problem with a lot of like cookie cutter programs, is they'll just be like videos of the exercise. And like some of those generic videos are terrible.
Yeah, There's some bad ones out there, and that come with the apps too, right?
Yes.
Because
The one that came with my app, like I had to shut them off. I was like, I don't want these in there. Like they had some mislabeled, like they had like a deadlift, it was a squat or something like that. And I was like,
oh,
this is not helpful.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I feel like the not to do's would come with the coaching too. Because then everyone's movement's so different, right? So
Yeah.
Amanda, I'm sure she would tell you what not to do. Once she saw what's going on, then you'd remember that. And when you record yourself and you look, you're like, oh, this is what she told me not to do. Let's try that again on the next set and record. I don't like to record myself on my sets too, just to like check my form, because it's hard to see myself when I'm, living in this body.
Yeah. I have like certain things that I do, like I'll record myself and I'll be like, you're doing it again. And like you don't even notice it. Like I have obviously the basics of movement down, like my breathing and my movement patterns are good, but just like little things that I'm like, that's not helpful. So recording yourself really helps a lot. I mean, it's kind of like recording your food, right? It brings you a lot of awareness to what you're doing. And a lot of us, when we start working out, have like no mind body connection. Like our mind doesn't even know where our big toe is, type of a thing. So recording yourself kind of helps you reconnect with those movement patterns. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. Recording's such a helpful tool.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, a lot of those do's and don'ts, like Alyssa said, will come with form checks because everybody's form is very individual. There are basics to form, neutral spine, breathing, and those type of a thing. But, somebody with really long femurs, their squat's going to look way different than somebody with really short femurs and really mobile ankles. So there are some basic do's and don'ts, but everybody's form's pretty individual.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions? You can ask like gym intimidation questions too, just because I know we had a Q&A last week and I know some of you had questions afterwards. So we're at your disposal for the next few minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if we don't have any questions, we can call it a night.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me on as to help out with storytelling.
Yeah, no, that was great. Thanks for jumping on. All right. Well, enjoy your workout.
Thank you.
And we'll talk soon.
All right.
All right,
Talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye.
Okay.